everyone.
Good evening.
Okay. I just want to say thanks to Carl, Andy, and the entire crew at Busboys and Poets for really giving me this opportunity to share my work and my thoughts and, the person I am. Thanks to all the artists who have participated, and let me tell you, you guys are just amazing. I love your work, and I wish we can, keep in touch, keep that network going, and we get together more often. And Carl, maybe we can do more of these. I don't mind reading again and again and again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I get it. I get it.
Okay, so my name is Aaron McKinson. I was born in the beautiful island of Jamaica. And as a child, growing up, As a child growing up, I've always had some form of interest in art. And as people would ask me sometimes, when did you start painting? And I always say from creation. Because the funny thing for my friend here, I never went to art school. I'm a self-taught artist myself. And I figured that out at a young age. When I was about 13, my dad kind of suspect, because he saw me sketching a lot with my pencils, and I'm sketching on all kinds of things. I'm sketching on wood, paper, anything that I could find as a surface that I could put anything on. He brought me a set of watercolors, and I have no knowledge of what painting is like, or how to paint, or whatever. And when I started high school, I started going to the library very often, start exploring painters. And I came across this guy called Claude Monet. And I'm like, interesting, but my curiosity was, how did he get all of this? How did he make this happen? Now, I used to stop by the banks in the neighborhood close to school before I go home, and I would walk in, because what I found was that most of the banks in Jamaica had those massive paintings on the walls. So I would go in and I would be standing there for like a good 10 minutes, and I'm like, I just can't understand how they get this man on this canvas. And that was what just takes my mind to the next level. I've got to figure this out. When I got the watercolors and I started doodling, as I doodle more and I read more, things start coming together. And I said, I see. This is it. I kept doodling more. And as I kept doing that, I started showing my mom and my dad my work. In fact, I went out to the art store, because I first started on regular book paper, and I realized, that ain't gonna work for watercolor, because it just destroyed the paper. So I went to the art store and I ordered cartridge paper, because cartridge paper is strong enough to hold watercolor if they know how to do it, especially with cartridge paper, not a regular professional watercolor paper. So I started doing that, and I got the technique a little down, and I'm like, okay, I know I don't need to wet it this much, because the paper gonna go haywire. But then I realized I need to actually get this thing done fast, else I'm gonna be in trouble. Now, I painted all three mediums, because I transitioned from watercolor into acrylic, that I find to be a little too, for me, a little too plasticky in terms of the look. Then I moved into oils. But as I transitioned across, I realized, you know what? watercolor seems to be the hardest of all three, or more difficult. But I developed a love for watercolor. And pretty much, I think to date I've sold all my watercolor paintings that I've ever painted. Which was really good. I know I wish I had one, that I could say. In fact I have two on the walls at home. Two of my originals, and I love them. So I transitioned from watercolor into acrylics and then to oils. Now, as I did all of that, I end up just painting every day. And my mom started saying, what are you going to do with them? Because I'm painting every day now. And I said, I don't know, maybe I just give them to people. So I started giving away my paintings. And I would paint and be glad to give somebody. Because I'm thinking, you'll pass the word around. And that person will pass the word around. And one day, that little name might become something of a painter. I did that, but then as I grew in my profession, I realized I started to take art far more serious than even my current profession as an engineer. I'm a production engineer. I work in radio, television. I used to edit film. I used to record film sound. I work on several movies, and got into video also, did a lot of video stuff. I do acting myself, and I do a lot of commercials, radio commercials and TV commercials, because of this little husky voice that I have. And I was able to explore all of that as I grew in my career as an audio engineer. But then I've always come back to art. And I must tell you this, I paint 7 days a week. If I didn't have a full-time job, I would paint maybe 23 hours a day, get 1 hour of rest, because I became addicted to it. I took it sometimes too serious, and I realized I need to just see it as fun. To me, it's not fun because art is work. The preparation, the thinking, putting together, the imagination, getting it right, getting frustrated, want to maybe damage a canvas, or maybe I've been through that. So I consider it not necessarily a fun job. I see it as something very serious that I'm attached to. If I travel, I have to have something to sketch or paint, else I'm going to ruin my travel. No matter where I go, I have to have either a sketchbook, my colored pencils, which I use mostly when I travel, because I need to, I have to paint or draw. Now, career goals, I've done many exhibits over the years. Then I started looking more deeply at my influence from Monet, Paul Cézanne, Manet, and more recently Picasso. But Claude Monet was just a guy that got me. The unfinished looking work was my thing. And then I found that as I paint, I realized that if I sketch with my brush and not with my charcoal, I like it better than the sketch with the pencil or charcoal. Because I realized that I lock myself into this square and I'm trying to stay within it. But when I paint, when I sketch with my brush, I'm far more loose. And now I have no boundaries. And I learned that from Camille Pizarro. He said, sketch with your brush, because those lines that meet will always become one without the visual eye seeing the combination. And I said, God, there it is. And I realized it's true. When you sketch from me, you're in that box. When you paint or sketch with your brush and you get loose, and forget what you're looking at. Because for me, I don't look at Carol or Terry or Leon as I'm painting a face. What I'm a painting is a shape that looks like a face, but how does the light affect that face? Now, takes me back now to my other influencer, which is Henry Enchi, which has the light and movements of light and color. What I learned from that is, or even from Monet itself, as you would say, when you look at a house or a field, look for the colors of what you see. Whether a blue field, a yellow lawn, a red sun, a red building, or whatever. Then paint the colors you see, because that's what the light key is actually doing for the subject. If I turn these lights off, then everything inside here is dark. Then how could you paint something that you can't see? So when I see that because of the light that's falling on it. So I take from several things: the temperature, the environment, and what influence the environment has on the subject or the object itself. And I proceed from there, and I paint the light that I see on Liam's face or Kevin's face, because once I get that lighting right, it will reveal the face eventually. Because I'm actually painting a face, so I take shape into consideration and color. And light temperature, whether it's a cool light, warm light, or in between. And I take it from there. As I grew, I started to make more connections with myself and my work. I love landscapes. I love landscapes. I paint them all the time and I keep going. And I just can't get that brush in. But then to me, it's just a landscape. You know, that just a field with whatever it may be, or a still life with apples and whatever. But then I realized that working more with the human figure has more connection. So I, in turn, incorporate Monet's style of Impressionism with Paul Cézanne's style of skewing the object and giving that multidimensional shape or views, I should say. And I started combining those to create my work. Then, as I go forward, I realized that people started having an effect on me. But the people that consider voiceless. Now, for example, this is one of my versions of Dr. King from his jail cell. And this is my card players, which is also influenced by Paul Cézanne. And if I could, can I pause this for a second? Okay, pause this one. Can you pause right here? This is also a self-portrait of me. All three paintings are of me, sitting playing cards with myself. This is that strange ginger that you saw earlier. And I'll tell you more about her in a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so maybe I'm going to leave this.